See if we can take a movie. Woke up blurry on us, huh? Isn't that beautiful? That is gorgeous. Oh, wow. Good morning, everybody. Today's date is October 9th, 2017. And this is Leech Lake, Minnesota. And it sure is gorgeous. Look at that. And we're just gonna wait a while and watch it. Watch for the sun to come up. It'll stay clear, huh? I can't believe the color. It's so spread out everywhere. That must be the dragon going by with his tail. But it sure is beautiful. How is everybody today? Me, I'm fine. That cold didn't hold, so I'm feeling better. Wow, look at those colors. You see those clouds dropping down from up there in that pink area? So gorgeous. Yeah, it comes up later and later now, so I don't have to get up quite as early. I think today is indigenous something. Anyway, so the bitty ones don't have school today. The older ones, I think they do. You know, the water was very calm a while ago, and now all of a sudden it starts flowing to the right. You know, yep, the sun should be popping up any second. Yeah, I think. Remember, I told you I was saved back in 1987. Yeah, I ended up in the hospital, University of Minnesota, um, with alcoholism. I think I had cirrhosis and Hasides. Hasides is a starvation disease, you know, kind of like the Ethiopians get. You know, because I didn't eat any food hardly. You know, so I was just kind of wasting away. Yeah. Me and my sister, after we made that agreement, um, yeah, uh, yeah, about a year after that, I think I ended up in, after that anyway, we came up here for the summer and went back down to the cities when fall came. But yeah, it was an amazing time when we called for that Sunday school bus that our little children went to, Straight Gate Church. It's on Park Avenue and Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I believe the pastor was Pastor Roger Magnuson. Um, he also was a lawyer at Dorsey and Whitney law firm in Minneapolis. It was a corporate lawyer, and he preached, and in a little suit, he would preach, and yeah, just like a normal guy, I really came to love him with all of my heart. I'm pretty sure that sun's gonna pop up any minute now, any second. Oh, yuck. Still getting rid of that cold, yay. But yeah, those were some beautiful, wonderful times when I first met Jesus. I was on my deathbed, and yeah, they sent me home to die on a hospice bed. Yeah, but yeah, like the day before, I was transferred to the new part of the hospital. There was a young man who uh, stood in my doorway when I was laying in my hospital bed there, contemplating my death because they had just told me there was nothing they could do for me and that I was going to die. And they were going to send me home. Okay, so right after that, I was just thinking about how I would die. Um, and that started me talking to God, and I was talking to God, and I was saying, this is a bad place, and I really made a mess of it. Now I have to die, and I don't know how to do that. Help me to die. And no sooner than I prayed that, I caught a young man standing in the doorway of my room. Out of the corner of my eye, my peripheral vision, I saw him, and I looked up toward him. When he saw me looking toward him, he turned. I mean, he straightened up because he was leaning against the door with his arms crossed, and he was watching me. He quickly straightened up, folded his hands in front of him, and said, "Is your name Brenda?" and started walking toward me from the door to my bed. Before I could answer, yes, my name is Brenda, he said, "I know your name is Brenda. Do you want to die?" And by that time, he had reached my bed, and he was holding my hand. He was a young Caucasian man, like in a brown suit. And I believe he had on a red tie. Light blonde hair, kind of sandy blonde. Probably in his early 30s or late 20s. He was fairly young, about the same age as I was, almost. I think I was about 28 then. And he asked me, do you want to die? And I said, no. So he grabbed my hand, and he said, then pray with me and mean it with all of your heart. And he started to say the Lord's Prayer, and I prayed with him. As I was praying with him, I was thinking, are these my last rites? Is this all I get? I don't even get a priest, you know? I only get a man in a suit. I don't get a priest, you know, because I was Catholic at that time, before I was saved. And as soon as he stopped, as soon as we finished praying, um, he let my hand go and he said, if you meant that, we shall know. And he walked out the door. Yeah, I never knew his name. I never said any other word to him. Um, and that was it. But yeah, I believe that's when God came to heal me. He reversed that penalty of death. Because as you can see, or as you can hear, I am still alive, and I owe it all to my Lord Jesus, because he saved me from my deathbed at the University of Minnesota Hospital in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in 1986. It would be 1 year later when I would actually be baptized and find Straight Gate Church. So I believe I was saved when the man prayed with me. And then I was baptized 1 year later uh, on Park Avenue and Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'll never forget that day in my whole life. I, if my whole life could be summed up in one day, it would be that day when Jesus came to save me. You know, I was looking for something, only I didn't know what it was, and I knew that I would, when I found it, I would know what it, I would know what it was. You know, it was like an empty feeling inside of me, and I couldn't fill it with anything, and I tried to fill it with everything to bring that peace, that you had as a child and somehow lost along the way. And Jesus restored that peace to me. That's how I knew, I was home, you know. I felt that peace that passes all understanding, and it filled my heart, my life. Okay, that's a long story. Sorry I took so long. But yeah, we all have some fantastic stories. Thank you for listening.